When I was 7, I moved to Japan. I actually was born there and lived there for a few months prior to moving to America, but of course I had no recollection of my time there. I simply used that fact to impress some of my friends. But as I exited the airplane, my mom describes me falling to the ground and exclaiming, "I'm home." You can probably picture how weird of a scene this looked, you know? This white little 7-year-old boy exclaiming he's home after landing in the middle of Japan. But for me, I was home. Japan was going to have to be my home for the next 2 years. Through my subconscious application of resilience, I was able to get through this big change in my life. Resilience is the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties. Resilience is fundamental in today's society, yet so many of us suck at it. We need resilience every day as it is the only way we can adapt to change. Whether it's a physical change, like moving to Japan, or an emotional change, such as losing a best friend, the only way we can get through this time is through a sense of resilience. Change provides numerous opportunities and experiences, although its negative connotation arises from its initial implementation when things are tough and different. To get through the constant state of development our society seems to be living in, we as a whole need to be resilient to it. With this, not only can we further adapt to change, but we grow to appreciate it once we realize all the positive opportunities it provides. Personally, I have this sense of resilience as it was the only way I wouldn't fall under change's consistent punches it's tried to throw at me throughout my life. I'm 14. I've moved 7 times. Like I said, I was born in Japan, then I moved to Kansas, DC, China, Japan again, back to DC, Vietnam, and I moved here over the summer. Change has been one of the only consistencies in my life, and I was able to get through it through my sense of resilience. With this, I was able to see all the positive opportunities it provides. For me, change had always resulted in cool new friends and a cool new home, and being a kid in my little own head, I thought everyone had this positive perception. But I only had this perception because I was able to bounce back from these punches. An understanding of how to do this is fundamental because the only consistency in change is that it always occurs. And in today's society, things seem to be changing more and more. A study conducted by Harvard analyzing different individuals' levels of resilience found that learning to cope with, quote, manageable threats is essential to the development of resilience. Change is a manageable threat and is under your control. The study concluded by stating that individuals with the highest resilience were able to outweigh all the possible positive outcomes from the situation they were within to all the negatives. Although there's one thing I forgot to mention. This study was conducted on children. These children have a sense of resilience so many teens and adults don't have. I would have probably reflected the same conclusion if I was in the study myself. But why? You see, each kid accepted the situation they were within, assessed it, and simply did the best they could do from there. More specifically, they took advantage of all the resources they had available, consulted adults, they were able to build their own sense of self-efficacy, and like I said, outweighed all the positives to the negatives. I don't see many teens or adults like us being able to do this, but wouldn't society be so much better if we all could? Change has its negative connotation because so many of us don't know how to bounce back like these kids. I think we can all name a negative experience we've had in our lives relating to change. Our attempts to salvage what was before was unsuccessful. Although with an understanding of how to bounce back, we can float above the sea of change and swim back to shore instead of sinking to the bottom. And there are many ways to do this, just like there are many ways to swim. Dr. Kenneth Ginsburg developed a 7C model of resilience in which you can apply simple principles into your life, as you may have guessed, all starting with C, to help develop your sense of resilience in the face of change. The first C of this model is competence. Competence, in this context, is an understanding that you can effectively control the situation that you're within. You can help feel this through the application of your strengths because doing something you're good at helps you feel more comfortable in it. Personally, I have a YouTube channel. I began documenting my life living internationally almost about 3 years ago to the day, and I really enjoy it. I'm able to capture all the unique cultures I get to see and experiences I get to have through the lens of my camera in places from Bangkok to Bali to Burma. So I found that whenever a change happens in my life, I go back to my strengths in filmmaking to cope with it. And understanding and application of your own strengths in the face of change can really help develop your sense of competence. Following competence is confidence. Confidence is a belief in your own abilities to effectively handle your situation. I believe confidence complements competence well. That's a tongue twister. Because the application of your strengths helps build confidence. Following competence is connection. You are not in this time of transition alone. People are here to support you. Seeking others for help, attention, or even just their presence can really help you get through this time of change. Although change will also bring new people into your life, and it is essential that you try to build connections with them because you never know what opportunities they may provide. Every time I move, I always try my best to maintain connections with people I knew in past schools while building ones with new people I meet. Although building these connections themselves is rather hard. I'm a pretty extroverted and talkative person. I mean, I'm giving a TED Talk right now, so that's pretty obvious. But boy, do I go quiet when I'm in an uncomfortable, unfamiliar environment, such as freshman orientation. Although I knew that despite having connections with my friends in Vietnam and DC, which are here to support me, it was essential that I build connections with the people I meet here, or else I'd be miserable. Whether it's friends, coworkers, classmates, it doesn't matter. Building connections can really help you get through this time of change. The next C in this model is character. It is easy to get into the wrong things when you find a change has happened in your life and you're looking for an escape from it. Change can be the birth of someone or the death of another. By building and sticking to your own good morals, you should develop a good sense of character. Following character is contribution. Contribution is an understanding that you can benefit the situation you are within. You need to apply your strengths. You need to seek out the opportunities that change provides and apply your strengths to them to have experiences you would never have gained otherwise. When I moved to California over the summer, I had no idea what it was going to be like. Although when I came here, I saw all these opportunities before me which I could apply my strengths to. I could try out for basketball and cross country. I could join speech and debate club. I could audition for a TED Talk, something I really only dreamed about since 6th grade. An understanding of the opportunities change provides and the actual application of your strengths to take advantage of them will really help you get through this time of change. The next C in this model is coping. Change brings stress, no doubt about it. But learning to cope with this stress is essential to the development of resilience. Coping with the stress of change is really just like coping with the stress of anything else. The American Psychological Association recommends that taking a break from the stressor itself, exercising, meditating, and talking with friends are all really good ways to relieve your levels of stress. And the last C of this model is control. You are in control of the outcomes of your decisions. Why not try to make the best of them? You will not be perfect at resilience your first try. It will not always bring outcomes of your original intention. Although resilient people are survivors. The more resilient you are, the more you'll be able to survive in the face of change. And with this, next time you find a change has occurred in your life, I urge you to apply these principles of resilience to help you get through it. I hope you seek out opportunities in which you can apply your strengths to your situation to overall better your environment. And lastly, I hope you reflect and find areas in your own life in which you can apply change to better your future. Thank you.